Tonight, that teen is facing the consequences of his decision to bring a gun to school. The head of the fire is actually burning many miles to the north. As you can see over here, the flanks of the fire remain incredibly active. These appear to be bee boxes, a bee farm, and these colonies are just going up in flames. Has anyone been hurt so far in the firefight or among people living in this area? Do you think things would be different if the Ebony alert had been issued at the very beginning?
Yes.
Crews have been heading out on more heat-related calls than usual this summer. We've just learned in the last half hour or so that those 5 victims are all expected to survive. There are still a lot of unknowns when it comes to what happens next for the Democratic Party, but what can people expect to see? CAL FIRE has crews both on the ground and in the air putting water directly on that fire. But in a viral TikTok video with 7.5 million views, a Bay Area woman says that her dog died after swimming here. When the explosion happened, Modesto firefighters were inside and part of the roof fell right into the front yard. Fortunately, none of the firefighters were hurt and they were eventually able to put that fire out. Now, the loss of the roof reveals parts of this building's history. Sadly, we can report that in this neighborhood in Kelly Ridge, at least 3 homes have been destroyed, like the one that you see burning behind me. But CAL FIRE says that they will have 400 personnel working through the night to help protect the homes that are still standing, like the one that you see right here. But this has already been a long, hard day. A neighborhood is burning as crews battle the fast-moving Thompson fire near Oroville on the ground and from the air. Nanette Freeman among the hundreds of people ordered to evacuate across Butte County. How hard was it to leave?
All these years we've had it.
Her house in Kelly Ridge among those that were saved. There's fire burning in the grass just to the side of this home. If firefighters hadn't got here in time, this house almost certainly would have burned.
I just left all the water running everywhere, all the faucets.
Some families haven't been so lucky. This home is on fire now. The one right next door burned down to its foundation. And at the end of the block, we can see what appears to be another house on fire. The smoke visible for miles. Neighbors could only watch and wait.
Looks like a lot of people's houses are in trouble.
You see these plumes of black smoke are probably asphalt shingles going up someone's roof, you know. So, yeah, it's a devastating feeling.
A devastating feeling hitting close to home. And you may be able to hear the helicopters flying in the distance. CAL FIRE says that there are 4 helicopters flying around, and we've seen them doing water drops. Again, attacking the fire through the night. CAL FIRE says that it's important that everybody obeys the evacuation order so people can get out of harm's way while crews continue to fight the fire. Live in Butte County, Luke Cleary, ABC 10. The last time 14-year-old Kamara Green was seen by her mom, the two had just had an argument on Mother's Day weekend. And that was now almost 3 months ago.
Yes.
Kayla Green says it's been hell.
Going every day, not knowing who my daughter is, watching the news, dead bodies turning up, hoping it's not my daughter that they're finding.
The Monterey Trail's 9th grader was supposed to go to school on May 14th, but never showed up and never came home. On Tuesday this week, 11 weeks after Kamara went missing, the California Highway Patrol issued an Ebony alert, a new resource for agencies investigating the disappearance of a black child or woman between 12 and 25 years of age that you could compare with an Amber Alert.
We were very concerned that we had heard that this individual had been missing.
California State Senator Stephen Bradford introduced the law bringing the Ebony Alert into effect in January. How can something like an Ebony Alert help to bring her home?
It's bringing attention, both media like today, law enforcement resources, overall social awareness in the community.
It's scary.
Kayla has reason to worry. You looked at her phone and there were some messages between her and a man?
Yes. She's been talking to some man from Texas, supposedly, very sexual content.
Do you think she could be with this person now?
It's a possibility. Somebody's got her.
She says she's frustrated that it took this long to issue the Ebony alert. Do you think things would be different if the Ebony alert had been issued at the very beginning?
Yes. I think that there would be more attention given to my daughter. They would be more on top of the evidence or the supporting things that I could give them to help the case out.
And even now that her daughter's name is out there, do you believe that we treat things differently when it's a black girl who's missing?
I do. Unfortunately, it's my biggest fear that my daughter could be caught up in some trafficking ring, and all this time, nobody's there to help her to get out of it.
The Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is the investigating agency. They declined our request for an interview, but I asked why it took them so long to request the Ebony alert in this case, and a spokesman said that it didn't meet the criteria. He said that there are no other risk factors in this case and that the alert was issued now due to the length of time that she's been missing. Where there's pollen, you might find invaders hanging out where they shouldn't be. That's where they come in.
Hello, we're here for the honeybees. This is a good neighborhood for it. A lot of old houses, old growth trees.
Beekeeper Blake Dacey
Well, first I'll get the tarp and put the tarp down inside.
has seen his fair share of swarms like the one at this Arden home. His team's phone lines are buzzing off the hook this time of year, with as many as 20 calls a day.
I didn't realize the ceilings were so high. No, that'll be good shape.
The bees are on the move as the seasons change. Dacey urges homeowners not to turn to pesticides to fight them off. Equipped with his tools, a bee suit, and a GoPro, he cuts into the ceiling
Well, they're beautiful.
and gradually reveals the colony,
Definitely recognize the disturbance. They're doing a lot of fanning.
delicately removing the honeycombs by hand and vacuuming the bees into a box.
Sorry, the vacuum's loud.
This service costs between $250 and $600.
Isn't that wild? That's awesome.
The owner here needed the service quickly. A family member is allergic.
Just chew it up, smash the honey out of it,
But the sweetest part,
and that's what's left over, just wax.
there are no harmful chemicals in this process, and no bees were hurt in the making of this story. West of Davis, the Russell Boulevard bicycle path is bounded by California wildflowers and a busy country road.
It is like a very high-speed area for cars, so it can definitely be scary.
As student leaders of the UC Davis cycling team,
It could have been anyone.
Ella Rosenthal and Neha Joshi were among the first to learn that their teammate, Junie Gao Smith, was hit by a car this spring when she was crossing Russell Boulevard.
It was awful. It messed me up for so long.
Not her, they thought. Not the freshman with the big personality who became a sensation when she joined them a few months earlier.
It was her first race. She was like, I'm going to win. I was like, okay. She's just extremely competitive spirit.
75 miles away at Junie's family's San Francisco apartment. Photos of her accomplishment hang on the wall next to memories of a childhood on two wheels.
My family, number one, right here. Yes.
And with her older sister Olivia at her side,
I'm happy to be alive, I think is my main thing.
Junie is on the mend, recovering at home from a head injury that impacted her memory.
Like a few weeks ago, you couldn't remember what had happened like 5 minutes ago, so really, yeah. Wow.
She spent 5 long weeks in a coma after the crash that happened on March 11th at this bike crossing on Russell near County Road 97. CHP says the driver remained on scene and that DUI is not believed to be a factor. The responding officer writing that Junie either failed to yield or stop at the intersection before crossing, a finding her family has struggled with because Junie can't remember the accident or her side of the story.
Yeah, I simply can't remember anything, and it's like waking up from a dream and not knowing what you dreamt.
Months later, some of her memories still aren't coming back. But that big personality is.
Coming out of the coma, you were making jokes. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine they were any good.
don't know how.
Olivia kept friends posted on Judy's progress.
That update from Olivia where she was like, Junie started escaping her hospital room and wandering around outside. I was like, oh, that's so her. She's back.
While back in Davis, her team was pulling for her, gathering dozens of riders and raising thousands of dollars towards Junie's medical bills.
To show her that we're here for her, we love her, the entire cycling community.
Very beautiful. Yeah. Amazing.
There are a lot of things Junie still can't remember, but there's also something she can't forget.
Yes, definitely. I do feel the love. Yeah.
In Davis, Luke Cleary, ABC 10.